Hey, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, all honor, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahawashi, to the hopeful elect of Israel. This is your brother, Shema Shawan, coming back to you with another lesson. And this lesson is called 3 Days and 3 Nights in the Grave, referring to Yahawashi, how he would be in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights, 3 complete days and 3 complete nights. I apologize, Salakia, about the black screen. I encourage you, if you don't have your scriptures already, to grab them and follow along with me. Okay, let's get started. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 38. It says, "Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." So Yahushua is validating and clarifying that he's going to be in the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, let's get some more. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9, because Daniel gives a reference to the time that Yahushua Mashiach would be crucified in the midst of the week. Let's get it. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9 and 26. Daniel 9 and 26, it says, "And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and until the end of the war desolations are determined. 27, it says, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblations to cease." Right? That's all we need out of that, right? So what that's talking about, when Yahushua was crucified, he took away the daily sacrifices that were done in the morning and in the evening. Yahushua, he takes that away because he's the ultimate sacrifice. Okay. All right. So we see that Yahushua was killed in the midst of the week. So this midst of the week was Wednesday, right? All right. So let's get some more. Let's go to Mark chapter 15. Let's go to Mark 15. And we're going to start from the top and see how treacherous our forefathers were, right? And where we get this demonic spirit from. Even in these days, as wicked as some of us are, it is pathetic, right? But this is where this starts from, right? This is Mark 15 and 1. It says, "And straightway in the morning." So we see it's in the morning time, right? The the chief, look at this. The chief priest held a consultation with the elders and scribes. So these guys, man, came together, man, right? And the whole council, and bound Yahushua and carried him away and delivered him to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, "Art thou the king of the Jews?" And he answering said unto them, "Thou sayest it." And the chief priests accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. And Pilate asked him again, saying, "Answerest thou nothing? Behold, how many things thy witnesses accuse thee." But Yahushua yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. Okay? All right. 6, it says, "Now at the feast he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. This man was a murderer, right? But we're going to see that our wicked forefathers let this murderer free, but crucified the Messiah, right? But we know that this is something that had to come to pass, right? Yahawashi, he had to die for our sins to take this wickedness away from us and build us up and clean us up for Yahweh. Beautiful Yahweh, all right? Okay, 8, it says, and the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But Pilate answered them, saying, will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. They hated Yahawashi. They envied him, our forefathers, right? But the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. These people, these wicked Israelites, right? This man is a murderer, right? Found guilty of murder. But yet, you know what I'm saying, they want to crucify their own brother, our salvation, the salvation of Israel. Ignorant. Okay? 12. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, what will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of the Jews? Look at this. And they cried out, crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, why? What evil have he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, crucify him. They can even give a plausible or a righteous response to Pilate, because Yahawashi was sinless, always sinless, forever, right? 15. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them and delivered Yahawashi when he had scourged him to be crucified. Okay? Look at this. Okay? 16. And the soldiers led him away into the hall called Praetorium, and they called together the whole band. And they clothed him with purple and platted a crown of thorns and put it about his head and began to salute him, Hail, King of the Jews. And they smote him on the head with a reed and did spit on him, bowing their knees, worshiping him. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple from him and put on Slakia and put his own clothes on him and led him out to crucify him. And they compelled one Simon the Cyrenian, who passed by, coming out of the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to bear his cross. And they bring him into the place Golgotha, which is being interpreted the place of a skull. And they gave him drink wine mingled with mirth, but he received it not. And when they had crucified him, they parted his garments, casting lots upon them, which every man should take. And it was the third hour they crucified him. So now this third hour is really, really important here. The third hour, right, is 9 a.m. in the morning, right? So we see that all this is happening around 9 a.m. in the morning. Remember, at the top we said, it said that, it was early that morning that they started this mock court against Yahawashi Mashiach, okay? 26, it says, and the subscription of his accusation was written over the King of the Jews. Okay? All right? So let's jump down to 29. 29 says, and they that passed by railed on him, wagging their heads and saying, oh, thou that desire, Slakia, thou that destroyeth the temple and buildeth it in 3 days, right? Save thyself and come down from the cross. Likewise, as the chief priests mocking said among themselves with the scribe, he saves other, himself he cannot save. Look at this, man. This is pathetic, right? Our wicked forefathers, right? 32 it says, let Mashiach, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. And they that were crucified with him reviled him. 33. It says, and when the 6th hour was come, the 6th hour, right? 6th hour, this is noontime. This is 12 noon. So this stuff had been going on for hours now. There was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. Now the 9th hour is 3 o'clock. So this gives us a time frame in which Yahawashi gave up the ghost. We're going to see. So we're going to see that Yahawashi gave up the ghost around the 9th hour, which is 3 p.m. Okay? 34 it says, and at the 9th hour Yahawashi cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is, and being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? So we see the 9th hour here, right? It's illustrated here. And some of them that stood by when they heard it said, behold, he calleth Elias. Right? 36 it says, and one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink, saying, let alone, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down. Here it is. And Yahawashi cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. So we see that Yahawashi dies around 3 p.m. Wednesday. It's still Wednesday, right? And we're going to see that according to the law, that we had to have dead bodies off of the cross by that sun going down. Okay? All right? Okay. All right. Let's get some more here. Let's get some more. Let's look at Slakia. Okay. Let's go to the book of John and get some more insight on this thing. Let's go to John chapter 19 and verse 28, right? Because remember, if Yahawashi dies on Wednesday evening around 3 p.m., you need 3 days and 3 nights, right? So let's do the count from Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown is 1. From Thursday sundown to Friday sundown is 2. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is 3 days. That's your 3 full days and 4 nights. Okay? Let's go to John 19. John 19 and 28. John 19 and 28. It says, and after this, Yahawashi, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scriptures might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar. We read it already, okay, in the book of Mark 15, and put it upon hyssop, and put it to his mouth. When Yahawashi therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. So we see that Yahawashi gives up the ghost. Now, here, let's get clarity. Watch this. We're going to see that when Yahawashi died on the Wednesday, right, they had to get his body down before that sun went down, right? And we're going to see that it was the preparation day for the high Sabbath, right? For for unleavened bread. The feast of unleavened bread was going to start, the high Sabbath. So they had to have him down, okay? Let's go to 31. John 19 and 31. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. See that? For that Sabbath day was an high Sabbath. But Pilate, that, it's like it, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken down. So they had to take Yahawashi down. Yahawashi had to be taken down before that sun went down. They had to take him down. Then came the soldiers and break the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. Okay? But when they came to Yahawashi and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side. Forthwith came there out blood and water. That's a whole nother lesson. Okay? So we see that they had to have Yahawashi off that cross before that sun went down. Let's go and get some reference to that about bodies having to be taken down before the sun goes down. Let's go to Joshua chapter 10. Let's go to Joshua 10 and 27, right? Joshua 10 and 27, it says, and it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded they take them down off the trees and cast them into the cave wherein they had laid Slakia, wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain unto this day, unto this very day. So we see that we had to be off the cross or off that pole before the sun went down. Okay? And so that's how you get the count of the 3 days and the 3 nights for Yahawashi. Okay? Let's get it in the law. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 21 and 23. Deuteronomy 21 and 23. Let's get it. Here, let's start at 22 for context. It says, Deuteronomy 21:22. It says, and if a man have committed a sin worthy unto death, and he be to and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, cross, the same thing, right? Made of wood, the cross is. 23, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. See? For he that is hanged is accursed of Yahweh, that thy land be not defiled, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. So we see that they had to be off that that cross or that tree before that sun went down. And we're going to see an instance when Joseph, honorable disciple of Yahawashi, goes and gets Yahawashi's body and prepares his body for burial, because they had to get him. Remember, they had to get him off the tree. They had to get him into his sepulcher. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go back to John 19 and 32. Let's go back to John 19 and 32. John 19 and 32. All right, it says, okay. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahawashi and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. Okay? And one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. And he that saw it bare record, and his record is true, and he knoweth that he saith true, that ye might believe. For these things were done, that the scripture should be fulfilled. A bone of him shall not be broken. And again, another scripture saith, they shall look upon him whom they pierced. Okay? And watch this. Now, this is the Joseph, right? The disciple of Yahawashi coming to get his body. 38, it says, and after this, Joseph of Amarantha, being a disciple of Yahawashi, but secretly for fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Yahawashi. And Pilate gave him leave. He came, therefore, and took the body of Yahawashi. Look at this. It says, and there came also Nicodemus, which at the first came to Yahawashi by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 pound weight. Then took they, so we see that Nicodemus and Joseph takes Yahawashi's body. It says, then took they the body of Yahawashi, and wound it in linen, clothes with the spices, as the manner of the Jews is to bury. Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new sepulchre, wherein was never man yet laid. There laid they Yahawashi, therefore, because the Jews' preparation day, okay, for the scriptures was slack it. For the sepulchre was nigh at hand. So we see that it was the preparation day, right? So in other words, it was the 14th day of the first month, right? The month of Abib, okay? All right, let's get some more. And they knew this, right? They knew the law, okay? That's why this is being done here, okay? Let's go to Luke chapter 23. Let's go to Luke 23 and 50. Watch this. Luke 23 and 50, right? It says, and behold, there was a man named Joseph, who we just read about, right? A counselor, and he was a good man and a just. The same had not contended, it's like it. The same had not consented to the counsel and deed of them. He was of Arimathea, the city of the Jews, who also himself waited for the kingdom of Yahweh. This man went unto Pilate and begged the body of Yahawashi. And he took it down, see that? And wrapped it in linen and laid it in a sepulchre that was hewed in stone, wherein never man before was laid. And that day was the preparation, the high Sabbath. Unleavened bread was coming in, and the Sabbath drew on. Okay? And the women also which came with him from Galilee followed him. And behold, the sepulchre and how his body was laid. And they returned and prepared spices and, and ointments and rested the Sabbath day according to the commandments. So they rested the Sabbath day. We see that this unleavened bread was also coming in conjunction with the weekly Sabbath. All that was coming in simultaneously. And it was done by Yahweh, who is brilliant and great. All glory and all praise to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Okay? Now, let's see when Yahawashi is risen. Let's go to Mark 16. It's got to be 3 days and 3 nights. So, Wednesday from sundown to Thursday to sundown. Thursday to sundown to Friday to sundown. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is 3 days and 3 nights. We're going to see when they came on the first day of the week, early that morning, Yahawashi was gone. He had risen. He was gone already. Mark 16 and 1, it says, and when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Solomon had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came into the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And they said among themselves, who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted. And he saith unto them, be not afraid, ye seek Yahawashi of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen, he is not here. Behold, the place where they laid him. So we see that Yahawashi, in fact, was in the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, and I pray that this class was edifying. Once again, I'm going to give all glory, all honor, all praise to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Shalom.